Islam. In the name of Almighty God, Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful. The God that the world had been looking for, prophesying that would come, came to North America. He came to the worst part of America. He came to Paradise Valley, what we call Black Bottom in Detroit. He came seeking to save that which is lost. And he found a humble little man from the clay hills of Georgia. And we look at the education that he previously had, we can say God chose the least of the least in order to show forth his power. Took him under his wings and taught him for 3.5 years and then disappeared. Dressed him up with power. Fixed him where the enemy couldn't touch him. And he built the consciousness and built the consciousness of black people throughout the world. And he built a nation in the middle of this nation that no one had ever seen among black people. He built what we call maybe a $200 million empire. And then he says, I'm going to let it get torn to pieces. And he said, I'm going to get out of the way and show forth the power of my God. And he left. And the great nation of Islam went down to little of nothing. But there was one laying in the wings. One who had the aspiration of healing the souls and minds of black people. So one day he said, I'm going to rebuild the nation of Islam. And here's a man going to rebuild something, but he ain't got nothing to start with. And then looking back on that, in building and helping the Honorable Elijah Muhammad build such a great nation, people will say, well, why wasn't any of the wealth shared with the ministers? That's a good question, because we helped the messenger attain it. So why we didn't get what we call something on his departure? But once we realized he did leave us the most valuable thing that could be left to a people. He told me one day, he said, son, as long as one of us believe, the devil can't win. He said, just one. Now here the world is trying to write Elijah Muhammad out of history. They tried to write him out. They took this building here laid in waste. Padlocks was on the door. All through the temples and mosques throughout the country, Elijah Muhammad's picture was taken out of the temples and the mosques around the country. Elijah Muhammad's name was what we may say bad language to the new Muslims. So Farrakhan said, I'm going to rebuild this. There's a man standing dead broke. It reminds me of Noah. When God told Noah to build an ark, he didn't have no wood. He didn't have no nails. He didn't have no hammers. But he got to work so he could get him a hammer, so he could get him some nails, so he could get him some wood. But my little talk is today about the faith of Farrakhan. He had the faith in a word that Elijah Muhammad left with us, that he told us the truth about the God who had came. Now, that's kind of hard to believe in a God if he didn't see it in another man. So Farrakhan saw it in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, he stood up in the midst of enemies. Oh, I wish I could paint the picture better to you. The traditional world of Islam was against him. Huh? So-called our people was against him. Everybody was against him. But he took that word that Elijah Muhammad had willed to all of us and began to rebuild the nation of Islam. Then this glorious, beautiful building here, we retrieved it. He retrieved the palace. He retrieved the palace in Phoenix, Arizona. He began to build. Huh? And he brought about things that we couldn't even imagine. He had to have faith, the greatest of faith, to say, I want 1 million black men to come to Washington. Now that's faith. Because you can't get 2 of us together to go and do nothing, nowhere, especially on a work day, on a Monday. Now he had to have faith to call for 1 million men to come to Washington, D.C. But we had over 2 million to come. Now, why I chose to talk about his faith, because through his faith, all of us who call ourselves Muslims, all of you who are listening to him and believe in what he said, meaning you are saved through his faith. Not your faith, his faith. He has saved us all. All praise is due to Allah. I love Minister Farrakhan with all my heart and all my soul. Long live Farrakhan. Long live Farrakhan. Long live Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum.